They say good things take time. The issue here is time. I think most of us don't believe that we have the time to at least endure, wait long enough to see the things we've planted bear fruit, manifest, ripen enough for the harvest, make its way to the kitchen to be cooked, to be served, and most importantly, enjoyed. It does take time. For the real things, that is. If you're looking to throw something and put it under some gamma rays and have it spin around and around and around until you have the perceived cooked meal, then sure, you could do that in 15 minutes. But I'm talking about something that requires patience, or maybe a lot more than patience. The foresight of knowing that it will come to pass. I came across this interesting read where a king knew of a victory. However, they didn't know when they would win. And so, are you committed to the journey even if you don't know when you're going to win? Because a lot of us believe in the victory that's been set out for us. I think there's some deeper knowing that we're destined for something absolutely amazing. You do know for a fact that you're going to be eating tonight. You know, you cook in the kitchen. I think the aromas that are allow you to sit in, simmer in the moment. But if that continues to go on and you're smelling this meat cooking in the kitchen and you know there's these different flavors combusting in the air, but nothing really comes to the fore, you start doubting the meal. And with every clicking or ticking moment, it feels like the meal is going further and further away from what was initially stated. Am I really going to eat? That's perhaps a question most of us ask. Yes, you are, right? It has to happen, you know. In Kairos, if anything, it's not a Chronos time scale. Time is not linear. And I am struggling to somewhat explain what endurance has to be. Not necessarily what it feels like, what the fight is. And the fight is different for every single person. Your time is coming. Your time is now. Time is yesterday. Time is tomorrow. But your time is coming. And you have to hold on to that. And the beautiful thing about time is that it can be given, it can be borrowed, it can be taken, it can be stolen, it can be multiplied, it can be divided. And these are some of the secrets of life, you know, principalities unbeknownst to us mere mortals, if you will. And you never really feel like you've waited long enough for something that was always right there. I think we can all agree to that. If you, for instance, fall in love 4 months could feel like 4 years. If you're going through a vigorous training method, those 5 minutes can feel like 5 hours of, an intense push-up position. It's very interesting what the mind can do. I think often being absent-minded about the activities that are ongoing does help you escape the dimension of time. I think that's what they call flow state, which is very interesting, that creation of timeless music often exists within that same parallel thought, or at least that wavelength of creating out of time perhaps allows us to create out of time. I know it feels like a very high thought, right? But I'm just thinking about that moment where you were so locked in for the task, by the task, that you never realized you had to eat. You never realized that it was getting late, and you were just consistently present in that particular moment in time. Just cooking, crafting something that you were finding in the spur of the moment, flavors and techniques and a combination of creativity, art and design, and every single thing you ever needed was right there. Even the challenges somewhat added to the whole entire experience. And when you package that, be it a meal, be it an art piece, be it a piece of music, I think it's fair to say that the consumer can tell. They can tell the time in which you were creating from. There's just so much soul and presence. And not even to replicate those kind of understandings, but how do we tap into something like that? I'm not doing it or asking how to do it so that we can fast track time, but I want to be present in it so that I don't feel like time is moving slow, that I'm just in the moment, enjoying it as it is. Perhaps, a different emotion might require a different pacing of time. Needless to say, good things do take time. And I think that one is very different to being in time. I think that we leave up to God. Kairos is what they say in Greek. A pointed time, anointed time. Yeah. In God's anointed time. When things happen. Because they were meant to happen. It was written. That's a different clock. Then there's the clocks of the seasons. It becomes a very interesting undertaking when you start realizing that there's certain periods that you have to go through. Right now, it's winter in Cape Town. The jacket is not here for show and tell. The jacket is here because it's cold. And I can't bypass the season unless we're operating at a much quicker pace. We're able to teleport into another zone, into another season. But I think you can escape the natural time where applicable, but just certain things require you to go past the time. Think about the idea of your 10,000 hours. You have to put in your hours, whether you know it or not. The difference might be your 10,000 hours don't feel heavy because it was in practice, in motion of achieving something that your heart and your will were so aligned to that it never felt like you had to put in those hours. It was just part of your making, your being. Imagine you try to count how many steps you've accomplished over your lifetime. Like, you can tell that guy, that walk, he's clocked his 10K for sure. That guy though, he's looking at 5. Like, imagine we had to measure steps. So certain things you don't have to clock in and clock out. It just is. But certain things you have to put time behind. And I think that's why we number so much. I think there's beauty in the value of quitting something or trying on a new habit for 21 days. Or time can also restore certain trade abilities and so many other things. It's just something that I think all of us know, but it's really hard for us to accept. Maybe the distraction is actually telling time. Perhaps without the analog or digital 24-hour day, we'd be in a much more at peace, at ease kind of mind frame where you just be, and every single thing that needs to be created happens in its time, whether it's late, whether it's early, whether it's on time. It is what it is. Yeah. But needless to say, your time is now. Stagnot, my friends. Stagnot.